She knows he's wrong for her. Her friends see it. Her family sees it. Even she sees it, at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, heart aching, mind replaying every red flag like a warning siren. She keeps snoozing. So why can't she leave? Why does her chest tighten at the thought of losing him? Even when being with him already feels like losing herself. This isn't weakness. This isn't stupidity. And it definitely isn't just love. What's happening runs deeper, into the wiring of the brain, the patterns of childhood, and the biology of attachment. Sometimes, what looks like love is actually something closer to addiction. Here's where it starts to make sense. When someone falls deeply in love, the brain lights up in areas connected to reward and motivation. Dopamine, the chemical that fuels craving and pursuit, surges. Dopamine isn't about happiness. It's about wanting. It pushes the brain to chase, to focus, to prioritize one person as incredibly important. Over time, that person can start to feel less like a partner and more like a source of emotional survival. And things become even more intense when the relationship is unpredictable. You might think steady affection would create the strongest bond, but psychology shows something surprising. Inconsistency can be more addictive than stability. This is where a powerful behavioral principle slips in: intermittent reinforcement. It's the same mechanism that keeps people hooked on gambling. When rewards come randomly, the brain becomes obsessed with trying again, because the next payoff might be right around the corner. In relationships, this looks like warmth one day and distance the next. Deep connection followed by cold silence. Passion mixed with confusion. Instead of relaxing into love, the nervous system stays on high alert. Every small moment of affection feels like a win. Every apology feels like hope. The brain clings to the possibility of the good version of the relationship returning. She's not addicted to constant happiness. She's addicted to the relief that comes when pain briefly stops. Now the story goes further back, long before this relationship ever began. Early experiences with caregivers shape what love feels like on a nervous system level. If affection was inconsistent growing up, sometimes available, sometimes withdrawn, the brain learns that love and anxiety go together. Closeness feels uncertain. Connection feels like something that could disappear at any moment. As an adult, this can turn into anxious attachment. An anxiously attached woman doesn't just desire love, she fears losing it constantly. Her system scans for signs of rejection, overthinks changes in tone, and feels deep distress at emotional distance. Intensity starts to feel like proof of connection. Calm, steady love can feel unfamiliar, even suspicious. Chaos, on the other hand, feels recognizable. Not safe, just known. Then another layer forms when pain and comfort come from the same person. This creates what psychologists call a trauma bond. When a partner causes emotional hurt and then becomes the one who soothes that hurt, the body gets pulled into a powerful loop. Stress hormones spike during conflict, raising emotional tension. Then dopamine and oxytocin, the bonding chemical, surge during reconciliation. That dramatic swing between distress and relief deepens attachment in a way that steady kindness never could. Over time, her body begins to associate emotional relief with the very person who caused the pain. Leaving doesn't just feel sad. It feels like losing the only source of comfort her nervous system recognizes. The bond becomes chemical, not just emotional. At the same time, identity can quietly get tangled in the relationship. If she carries beliefs like, "I have to earn love," or "being chosen proves I'm enough," the relationship becomes more than companionship. It becomes validation. It becomes evidence of worth. Even if the relationship is draining, walking away can feel like erasing the proof that she mattered to someone. So she sacrifices boundaries. She minimizes her needs. She tolerates things she once said she never would. And the more she reshapes herself to keep the connection, the more her sense of self shrinks around it. The relationship stops being part of her life and starts becoming her emotional center of gravity. This is why logic alone rarely breaks the bond. From the outside, the red flags look obvious. But attachment lives deeper than reason. The thinking brain might understand the relationship is unhealthy, while the emotional brain, the part wired for survival, panics at the thought of separation. To that system, losing the bond can feel like danger, not relief. That inner conflict is exhausting. She may leave physically, but mentally she's still tied to him. She replays conversations, checks his social media, rereads old messages. This isn't drama. It's a nervous system trying to regulate after losing a major attachment figure. Cultural messages often tighten the knot even more. Many women grow up hearing that love requires sacrifice, that loyalty means enduring hardship, that leaving too soon means failure. Suffering gets romanticized. Patience gets praised, even when it means tolerating emotional harm. In that environment, addiction to a painful relationship can disguise itself as devotion. But beneath all of this is a quieter truth. She isn't truly addicted to him as a person. She's attached to what she hopes to finally feel through him. Security, worth, safety, reassurance, being chosen without conditions. He becomes the symbol of unmet emotional needs that began long before the relationship ever existed. That's why replacing him quickly doesn't solve the problem. The face changes, but the pattern stays. The nervous system is still searching for the same emotional resolution, often drawn to similar dynamics without realizing it. When the relationship finally ends, the aftermath can feel overwhelming. Sleep gets disrupted. Appetite changes. Anxiety rises. Thoughts loop endlessly. This can resemble withdrawal because, in a way, it is. The brain is recalibrating after being flooded with powerful attachment chemicals. Dopamine drops. Oxytocin drops. The system feels destabilized. But intensity of pain does not equal depth of destiny. Missing someone doesn't automatically mean they were right for you. Sometimes it simply means the attachment was strong and the nervous system needs time to adjust. The cycle begins to loosen when the story shifts. Instead of, "I can't live without him," it becomes, "My brain and body got used to a pattern that felt familiar, even if it hurt me." That understanding replaces shame with clarity. You cannot heal what you judge, but you can heal what you understand. As emotional safety grows internally, through self-worth, supportive relationships, and consistent care, the brain slowly relearns what love can feel like. At first, healthy connection may feel boring compared to emotional highs and lows. Calm might feel unfamiliar. But unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong. Often, unfamiliar is exactly what healing looks like. What seems like addiction to a man is often a nervous system clinging to the only version of love it has ever known, even when that love feels like pure loss. What looks like weakness is often a nervous system trying to survive a kind of love it learned long ago. If you saw yourself in this story, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your heart adapted to emotional patterns that once felt necessary, even if they hurt you later. Awareness is where healing begins. When you start understanding why you attach, why you cling, and why letting go feels like losing a part of yourself, something shifts. You stop blaming yourself. You start listening to yourself. And slowly, you begin to choose connections that feel safe instead of just familiar. Love should not feel like constant anxiety. Love should not feel like you are disappearing. And love should never cost you your sense of self. You deserve a kind of connection where your nervous system can rest, where your voice matters, and where you don't have to chase crumbs of affection to feel valued. If this opened your eyes, stirred something in you, or helped you understand your own patterns a little better, then you're already taking a powerful step toward emotional freedom. This is what we explore here, the hidden psychology behind feelings, behaviors, attachment, and healing. Subscribe to Inner Mind Psychology, where we dive deep into the emotional patterns we rarely talk about, but all of us feel. Because understanding your mind is the first step to protecting your heart.